radio station. It's Real Talk Radio with Dan Lane.
All right, everybody. So the other day, Tim Walz said something that really stuck with me, and I think it's probably the first time the guy's told the wholehearted truth. I mean, he's been propping himself up quite a bit from the very beginning, bragging about his military service, lying about what he did, lying about his rank.
Asshole!
But he comes out the other day and he says, and I quote and illustrated it, now, we can't handle 4 more years of this. Said in an interview, September 21st, 2024. I couldn't agree with the man more. We cannot handle 4 more years of this. Now, when I first heard him say it, I about died laughing because it was almost as funny as when Joe Biden said, man, we got to elect Donald Trump. You know, I mean, it's like, what is it with Democrats in choosing these candidates that they're just not well articulated? They flop on everything. You know, we no longer represent that. You have been representing that, whatever that is, like gun control, abolishing ICE and all that shit. Oh, we don't support that anymore. Bullshit. Oh, good God Almighty. I couldn't agree with Tim Walz more. I mean, the guy's full of shit. I don't know why anybody would want to vote for that man. If you knew what he did as a governor, you definitely wouldn't want 4 more years of this. I mean, we damn sure don't want 4 more years of draconian measures taken against its citizens, like setting up a snitch hotline for Karens to call in. It's like they're outside and they're by their mailbox and they're not wearing a mask. And then fucking law enforcement shows up and either cites them or hauls them off to jail. Oh, yeah, that's what you got under Tim Walz as a governor. And while the people in the inner cities, the blue districts loved him, of course liberals would, the rural area people who I've conversed with many times over on YouTube and other social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and beyond, they couldn't stand that guy. And I love the way everybody said, you know, not everybody, but the left is like, he's a real man. He's a real man. What are you talking about? He's a real man. That dude is softer than a box of kittens that he coddles on a daily basis. I mean, it's going to take a little more than taking pictures of him snuggling with the puppy and all that shit. That's not a projection of strength at all. That's like some hippie tree-hugging bullshit. I'm sure our enemies are loving the hell out of that. And I bet they're praying to God above that they get elected. They sure don't want Donald Trump back in office. We know that. Vladimir Putin's made that statement twice. He wants Kamala to win. He doesn't want Trump back in office. That's because he knows Trump's going to put the screws to him. You're not going to be bombing anymore, motherfucker. That's it. You've had your little war. It's over. Nothing's been accomplished. Nothing's getting done. It's done. That's it. But under Kamala, you're going to get more funding to the Ukraine, which means more war with Russia. I don't know how the hell they plan on handling the Middle East, especially with a woman being leader. You know, they look at women as second-class citizens over there. You think they're going to bow down to her? No, we will end up in World War. That's just the slow and skinny of it. You're not going to just show up on the scene a woman and then go over there and tell them how to handle shit. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's going to have a fallout beyond anyone's comprehension. And the feminists are like, yeah, we're going to have the first woman president. I don't know why you want her. She's going to make y'all look bad. Bad to the bone. We're going to make you look like a joke. I mean, feminism is already a joke anyway, but you're even going to look like more of a joke, and y'all are going to be doing that. Well, it was a good idea at the time, just like 17% of Biden voters when they had buyer's remorse. They're like, oh, I wish we hadn't voted for him. I wonder what the October surprise is going to be, by the way. Anyway, I don't want to get too far off into that. I'll do that in the next video. I think, personally, it's got something to do with Biden, but that's a speculation, and I don't like making declarative statements. I like to... Everything was, I think. But the declarative statement that I'm honing in on right now is we can't afford 4 more years of this. He's right. This is what we got. This right here. This. Not Trump. Trump's not in office. Okay? We had 4 years of him. The first 2 years were awesome. Pre-COVID, of course. Then everything went to shit after that. But that's... You can't really blame Trump entirely on that. Just imagine where we would be if we still had Trump in office. We wouldn't have all this shit going on right now. We wouldn't be talking about migrants, invasions, and them getting fed the silver spoon while American citizens are poor, broke, and hungry. And that's what you're voting for. You know, and we're talking about Springfield, you know, aside from the cats and the dogs and all that shit everybody wants to just specifically target. They just want to hone in on that and say, oh, the cats and the dogs. And what about other shit? What about the landlords jacking up rent 3 times as much as it was so that the people that live there couldn't afford to pay rent, so they get evicted, while the migrants get government vouchers to cover that rent? And the people that got evicted, the taxpayers, are paying for those vouchers. That should piss you off. What about insurance premiums going up for regular day-to-day citizens because of all the wrecks that's happening since they're given cars and they can't fucking drive? You bring these people from a third world shithole, bring them over here, give them cash, give them cars, give them vouchers, and it's all on taxpayers' dimes. We're suffering. I just don't understand what you're voting for. So when Tim Walz says 4 more years of this, I believe him. I don't consider that a gap. It's not like Joe Biden trying to sum up America in one word and it turned into a slosh, a word salad of some sort. Not the same kind of gaffe. I think it was intentional. What could he have possibly been talking about? I don't even think Trump's name was mentioned at that point in the interview. We can't afford 4 more years of this. What is this? This, motherfucker, this. Good God almighty, man. I think that was probably the only time the man told the truth. And I believe him. I don't know about, how the rest of you feel, but I actually believe that we cannot. Because they're still bringing in migrants, still scattering them all over the damn place, even to this day, probably right this second. And I think I could be wrong on this number. I could be wrong. So before you go fact checking and said it's not 206, it's 204, you're a liar. 206 Democrats voted for migrants to be able to participate in this election. Well, imagine that. Why would you want to do that? You really want to bring people that's never been here, give them shit that we work our asses off for but don't get, and give them a say-so in who runs the country? Who the hell thinks this is a good idea? I mean, I understand all that damn hair dye and shit. You got fucking chemicals out the ass seeping into your brains. I can understand why you can't grasp that reality. But for the common sense voters out there, why? What for? What do you get out of it? Nothing. Most Americans vote with their wallets, and they're going to see a 25% tax increase to go to social programs that's going to keep taking care of these people. And I'm supposed to believe that 10 million people are seeking asylum? You missed me with that shit. Now, y'all can tell each other what you need to tell each other, but I'm not buying that at all. And to sum it all up, no, we can't handle 4 more years of this. We need a drastic change, and we need it now. I don't even think we can wait until November. I think we need to have some sort of intervention. Something needs to happen. Something big. I'm watching it in real time. I don't see it getting any better. I mean, you think, well, November's just right around the corner. Man, a lot can happen in the time it takes to just approach right around the corner.